Hey, welcome to another edition of Bass East Bass Cast. On the line with us this afternoon, we've got Army bass angler Chuck Guthrie. Hey, Chuck, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Ricky? How's it going up there?
Good. It's a little chilly, but I think we'll survive. Um,
Oh, I'm telling you, you can keep it up there.
uh, Chuck, we've been friends for a long time. You, Cody, are the backbone of Army bass anglers, and from what I understand, you're kind of like really the guy there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Army bass anglers?
Well, Army Bass Angler is an organization that supports three non-profit organizations. We support the Returning Heroes Home, Heroes Underwater, and Veterans Outdoors. Currently, we're getting ready this coming January here in just a few months. We're getting ready to branch out to an East Division, a West Division, and a North Division. So the organization is going good. We're raising a little money for the nonprofit organizations. They're all just loving the money and stuff we're bringing in. So the biggest thing is just trying to keep everybody organized, and now it's getting ready to get even bigger. But with the new divisions, we're going to have division managers. So my job will get easier in some ways because I don't have to deal with everybody directly. But now I got to start collecting information from everybody because as we grow, we're going to get bigger. We're going to have to start tracking more and more information.
Sure, and I know that you've expanded into some different areas, with the Redfish tour and some of the other things that you guys have got going on. Um,
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the Redfish Tour is we just started it this year. It's just on bass anglers only. We have redfish anglers. Go to the same site and everything for that, armybassangler.com. You can bring them all up. They're just now getting started, and we hope it's going to turn out to be a little better. It's a little harder in the softwater or saltwater market because you can go bass fishing in all 50 states, but you can only go red fishing in about 10 of them. So, sponsors are a little more leery about joining in and stuff. So it's taking off slow, but we're going to get it there.
And how about as far as other branches of service? Y'all got some stuff going on there as well, right?
Yeah, we have all four branches of service: Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. You go to the same website, or you can click on that website, and it'll all come to the same website. We will accept anybody that has an honorable discharge to be on the coalition. And of course, if you just want to come out and support the cause and help raise money for the Returning Heroes Home, we have a thing called the Task Force, which is basically open for anybody. You don't have to have any military background whatsoever at all.
Sure, and we would, we'd like to invite everybody to get involved in that because the things these guys are doing is unbelievable. They're doing it for the right reasons too, and they love to fish, so they got to be good guys. Um, how long have
We
you been
try.
involved with Army Bass Anglers, Chuck?
I've been doing it now for a little over 6 years, I think.
And
Um,
you're retired, right?
yeah, I retired out of the Army 6 years ago, and it was probably about 8 months after I retired. They come up and said, "Hey, we've been watching. We want you to help us out and whatnot." And I was sitting down with a briefing with Cody, and he told me what we were about, and I said, "Man, as long as we're helping soldiers, I'm all over it." That's what I did for 23 years was take care of soldiers. So it's like I never really retired.
Right, right. Well, we're excited to be a part of it and be involved with you guys, and it's definitely good things happening. Um, it's getting cold up here in the north, and this is something that we're both pretty heavily involved in. Is taking care of our outboards. We
Oh
gotta do
yes.
what we gotta do, and there's a product called BioBore EB. What can you tell us about that?
Mylor EB is a ethanol buster. It's also a fuel stabilizer, and it's also a fuel system lubrication method. Um, a lot of products on the market say, "Well, I do this, or I do this." Well, this one product does all three of them, and it's really, fuel phase separation really begins after about 20 days of fuel sitting. So you guys up north, we use our boats 12 months a year down here, but a lot of people up north, and you're not so much just weekend angler, but the guy that goes out occasionally, their boats sit for at least 21 days. Well, that phase fuel separation begins, and it's really bad for it. What that's a bioboard does is it takes and treats the ethanol in the fuel so that when you're not using it so often, it keeps ethanol emulsified, so it floats around in the tank, and then when you burn it, it burns through the tanks normally. but it's also a stabilizer. So if you're going to let it sit up for 3 or 4 months, you just have to read the back of the bottle. It's a different treatment rate. You add a little bit more to it, and it stabilizes the fuel up to 180 days. So it's a great product. It's really priced well. I mean, 1 ounce treats 15 gallons for the ethanol. So you're talking about pennies for treating 15 gallons of fuel. So it can save you a lot of money in the long run. I know having a tackle stop and a boat maintenance replace, we replaced a lot of fuel hoses because of ethanol, and this stuff's starting to help out a lot.
Yeah, ethanol is definitely bad news, and the BioBore will head off some of those problems for sure. How often do you put it in your tank?
Usually when I fill up, I put 1 ounce to 15 gallons. I pour it in, and then I put the gas in behind it so it gets mixed in good. I use it in my truck. Another thing down here, we use it in our lawnmowers. We don't mow grass too often. In the middle of summer, it's usually dead, and then in the middle of winter, so I treat my lawnmower fuel a lot with it. Up there, snowmobiles sit through the summer. Anything that uses gasoline, it'll work on.
Right, right, and I know that we run into that with the lawnmowers because they sit all winter, and then the spring everybody has a problem getting their lawnmowers, weed eaters, whatnot started. But put the BioBore in there, and guess what? It's going to start in the spring, right?
Oh yeah, and what I recommend doing is putting it in there before you store it, run it, and get the treatment through the fuel lines. Because that's where the biggest problem happens in the fuel lines and in the carburetors. Get that stuff into the system, so that the fuel that stays in those fuel lines is treated, and go start it up in the springtime. You won't have any problem at all.
All right. Well, somebody that's looking for for BioBore, where's the best place for them to go get it?
You can go online to biobore.com and order it. If you have a West Marine in your area, they have it. There's also Academy stores, which are here in Texas and in some places across the United States, not everywhere. It's expanding right now. A lot of your local tackle stores can get it. If they can't, just have them go to the Army Bass Anglers website, and we'll get them hooked up and get it to their tackle stores. A lot of golf cart places around here carry it and stuff like that. So, right now it's just growing and expanding.
Sure. And if you want to contact us at basseast.com, we can also get you hooked up with the people you need to get hooked up with. Chuck, have you been fishing any?
Actually, I was on the water Saturday at Fayette County. We had a pretty good time. We got rained on pretty hard at about 2 o'clock and lightning, so we came off the water. But we probably had 23 pounds when we came off the water, and that was in about 5.5 hours. But we caught, I don't know, probably 75 fish in the 3 pound range. So we had a lot of fun. That lake, it's a power plant lake, and this time of year it really starts getting good down here.
Any particular baits that are working good down there right now that we probably need to know about for next year?
Well, I tell you something that it kind of broke out this year, and some of the pros are kind of talking about it now. The swim jig it's gotten heavy here in Texas, especially in the Central Texas area. Strike King's got a new bait going to be released here pretty soon called an XD10. They got a crankbait that's a mammoth that dives to 30 foot. And, I mean, it's a huge bait. It's in the prototype stage right now, but I suspect it'll hit the market here sometime soon. A couple of tournaments here in Texas lately have either been won on it or placed extremely high in them. So it won't be long before it hits the market. The prototypes are working well.
If you want the latest and greatest, what's going on in Texas, and you want to get some good deals on some baits, Chuck's got a tackle shop that he actually owns. Why don't you head the people to it, Chuck?
Yeah, it's a Tight Lines, TIGHTLINES, PFT as in Paul Frank .com, and it stands for Tight Lines Premium Fishing Tackle. TightLinesPFT.com.
All right. Well, look, man, we appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight. We're gonna get some people headed to your website, and I'm sure you'll have a bunch of good stuff there for them.
Oh yeah, the website's growing every day right now.
And be sure and check out the Army Bass Anglers website. They're doing a lot of good things. For a lot of people that need the help, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
and BioBore EB, you better get some in your tank. We've done enough videos and stuff by now. Everybody ought to kind of have an idea what's going on with it. But if you want to save yourself some money, that's probably the best way to do it, isn't it, Chuck?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper to treat your fuel than to fix your fuel system. I promise you.
All right. Well, thanks for being on with us, man. I'll have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.